replace Analea Mater early in the season, the starting setter. Sawyer Thompson and Peyton DeJardin. And away we go here at Haas Pavilion. Glad to have you with us. And it officially commences. First matchup in the history of both these two programs. And double contact goes against the Bears, and the first point goes to the Wake Forest Deacons. In 1-1 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Just 2 matches played on the road this season, 1-1 mark. Led by head coach Randy Smart, 4th season at the helm. Pardon, 6th season at the helm.
Service goes out. And serving for the Bears, Peyton DeJardin.
Service error ties it up at 1. And for Kyle, it's going to be so important how they get off, especially in the opening period. Johnson with the dig. And on the slide, it's Thompson. Collecting the point for Cal. Golden Bears coming off a 4-set defeat, 3-1 to Notre Dame on the road. Maggie Lee actually led all players in that contest with 15 kills, an efficient 31% hit mark as well. Crawford slides to dig it up. Bartolo. And Lee unable to finish it off, just flicked over on the 3rd piece of contact. Well handled by Maruska. And the long rally goes to Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
17-12 overall record last season, finishing 9th in the ACC. Already off to a much better start in 2024. And it's impressive just considering how deep the ACC conference is. Team in Louisville ranked number 4. Obviously the Golden Bears just got a taste of them. Jordan found the middle of the spot. And interference going against Cal. 3-2 lead for the Deeks. First ace of the night for either side, targeting that right back spot. That's something that the Deacons have excelled at this season. Their service game has been really strong. 93 service aces this year, all targeting that back row. Done a great job of getting teams out of their system quickly. It's tough when you got Maggie Lee. He's just a force up front, operating that time from the 4 spot in that left front position. But truthfully, she's dynamic anywhere out on the floor for Cal. And Gurkovic. First time she's on the board. Transfer from Rutgers, spent the past 4 seasons with the Scarlet Knights. Over 100 matches played in 4 seasons. But it's been her defense that has garnered national attention and recognition. 71 total blocks on the year. Number 12 in the country in that department. Charles is just able to flick it through the wall. And the Deeks take a 2-point lead. Barton make it 3. overpass. Charles with some cleanup service. And that was the Achilles heel for Cal against Notre Dame. They committed 10 service errors, but overall just their receiving was a weakness. We'll step aside, 4-point lead for the road team. Absolutely. Do you ever get that urge or that itch to be on the sideline? And if you do, during what moments specifically?
I have to be honest, I do not.
Spoken like a man who's truly retired.
Absolutely. I spent actually about 35 years doing this, so I think I put in enough time and can now enjoy it as a spectator.
Here's Maggie Lee, unable to finish it off. Now on the slide this time, and Ham earns the tool.
Ellie Ham on the scene for California.
And this is an interesting team this year, Coach and Cal, because you have some experienced players, but then you have individuals like Natalie Lau, who technically is a junior, but didn't play her first 2 years. Now she's all of a sudden inserted into a major role.
Yeah, she's really done an amazing job actually stepping in, take over for the injured Analea Mater, and is learning day by day, match by match. So I think we're going to see some really good continual improvement throughout this season, and as they get deep into the ACC, that should make a big difference.
And based on your experience, when you do suffer an injury, which position do you find it's the most challenging to plug that hole?
I think there's no doubt it's the setter. The setter touches a third of the balls that are played, and she's the one that has to correct the questionable passes or digs, or just the digs that aren't perfect. And then she also has to put that ball in a sweet spot for the hitters with tempo and timing, and she has to know all the hitters and the strategies. So she's really the key link in the team, and probably spends more time talking with the head coach and the coaching staff than any other single player.
She was on full display there, setting up Maggie Lee. Those two have a nice chemistry building.
I'm looking at Cal's bench right now, and they've got 4 players there, 1 not there on the injured reserve right now. So we're going to see a lot of play by a few players, and they're going to get a lot of experience out of that.
Strong side, just pushed over by Maruska. Bartalo. And Desjardins. Peyton Desjardins, the junior out of Pasadena, California, coming up a couple hours north to be in Berkeley. It's really impressive. She collected double-digit points in 9 of the first 10 matches played. This really set the tone after being utilized more as a role player the last couple years, but again, being called up to assume a larger role this season.
Yeah, to keep going on Desjardins' improvement too is she's learning to place the ball a little better. Doesn't just go up and hit all in power. And that last kill she got, you could kind of see a cross body down the line shot, because that's what was open. You still have to put a little pace on it, but she's really learned to mix up her shots a little bit, and it's resulting in those double-digit type of stats.
Another slide, this time Mansfield cannot find the end line, and a good start for Wake Forest. Again, this is just their 3rd road match of the season. You and I were chatting a little bit before the match how Cal has had to travel extensively to go to the East Coast. Now you have a team in Wake Forest coming to Berkeley. It's a big adjustment, not only from a time frame perspective, but just getting your body being used to the routine of traveling.
It's tough, and you know, these are student athletes, so they're spending a lot of hours in class as well. And then they have to get on an airplane, fly 5 hours across the country, and for them, this is a 10 p.m. match. So their bodies have to adjust pretty quickly and perform. That's part of being an athlete, I guess.
Absolutely. And they use the 3rd piece of work to get that one over. And Desjardins can't clip the sideline. And the Deeks able to extend their lead to 7 as I see another timeout. 7-point lead for Wake Forest midway through the first. An early 7-point lead for Wake Forest over Cal midway through the first period. Rich Feller, Jonah Malkin, delighted to be with you. And Coach, what has stood out to you so far by Wake Forest in this first period?
They don't seem to be feeling any of the effects of travel, for sure. They're just playing kind of a consistent, low error type of volleyball and putting a lot of pressure on Cal on the service line. Cal's struggling a little bit with their passing right now, and that's a result of the tough serving. But they seem to have an answer when they get into a transition game. They can get that first ball kill after they get a defensive play, and that is key.
Bears able to stop a mini run. Dior Charles leading the way for the Deeks with 3 kills. Tina Gurkovic with 2. And Maruska might have played an out serve there. It works out in their favor.
Sometimes doesn't matter, huh? Lucky.
There's always a balance and a fine line between wanting your service to be aggressive and accepting those potential errors, but also playing high percentage volleyball.
Yeah, you got to serve tough in this game, or you're not going to be able to score defensive points, and that's what it's all about right now. So most coaches will take a 1-to-1 ratio, service aces to service errors, but the stat that doesn't show up is the pressure serves, kind of like pressuring the quarterback, something that makes the team pass a ball that's not perfect and not ideal for the setter. So serving tough is so critical to keep a good team off the line and running their offense.
Sophia Johnson with a good serve there to get the Deeks out of their system. Target that strong side and dug up, at least it seemed for a moment. Jardin is able to earn Cal another point as they've closed the gap to 5.
Peyton showing again a little bit of the tools that are in her tool chest, changing up a little bit, seeing the opening in the defense.
Johnson, one of the best servers on this Cal team, 11 aces in 2024. Jardine again. Farrell with an initial contact, but that's 2 straight points for the junior.
That's maybe one of the toughest balls to hit. You can see Bartolo bump sets that ball behind her off the net, and Desjardins has to take the ball from over her shoulder behind her and still hit it high off the hands.
Wake Forest has been so competitive in matches played this season. 3 of their 4 losses went the distance to 5 sets, their most recent loss coming to Virginia. So it's a bit deceiving. You look at their 9-4 record and you might jump to a conclusion, but then you take a closer look and you see who the opponents actually were. They fared quite well in those competitions.
And you see that they were in most of those matches.
Big reason why their defense has been stout. They've held opponents to a combined hit percentage of about 15.5%, top 25 in the NCAA. To reach back for it was Olivia Murphy. And Lee with the tool. You've recruited a lot of players in your day, Coach. How many are like Maggie Lee?
Just a handful, really. Yeah, just at this age, I can think of a few that come to mind. I won't start naming names because I might leave someone out. But as a sophomore, she's got so much poise, and obviously she's got the length and the strength to bring that to bear. Got their passes back up to the setter, and Lau was able to distribute the offense a little bit, get a few in-system balls, and then even the out-of-system balls, they were good enough to get a good swing on.
Natalie Lau with 6 assists, and that took a deflection off of the Bears. So side out for Wake Forest. And Paige Crawford, the junior out of Wimberley, Texas, currently leading this Deacs team in kills per set. But it's this aspect of her game. 22 service aces now make it 23. Almost feel like I spoke it into existence. That's 8th best in the ACC.
I'd say you called that pretty well. She has got a really strong, lively arm, and she puts so much float on that ball with tempo that it's like a knuckleball in baseball. It just floats around and drops and dies.
Time Johnson controlled it well, and the cut angle can't find the sideline.
That play has kind of been the bread and butter for Cal this year. The slide behind the setter, either the middle or the opposite, taking off on one foot. And it's pretty good most of the time. You don't have a big window to hit it for if the block is there.
Sliding dig by Bartalo. Deacs do well to get into set. Maruska misfires down the sideline.
Sarah Maruska for Wake Forest.
In first year in the ACC for Cal, first time in program history that these two programs are matching up. Is that hard to believe for you?
A little bit, but you know, the West Coast travels to the East Coast a little bit preseason. East Coast does not travel often to the West. There's so many more teams east of the Rocky Mountains. You don't have to travel very far. And we as a team often traveled to the East Coast to play in tournaments preseason, but we had a heck of a time getting teams to come out here.
It's got to be that East Coast bias. They just dislike the West Coast, I think, sometimes.
They have to just look at this campus and
right?
The bay.
Greenery.
What's not to like?
4-point lead for the Deacs, 19-15. Tina Grikovic on serve and sails it long. They've been targeting that right back side in particular. They haven't tested Cal's left side very much in the opening set.
I'm a little bit surprised at that. Usually have an outside hitter, front row outside hitter on that side, so it would be my thought to target that. I know that Cal is trying to stay away from the libero, Farrell, because the word is she's pretty darn good at passing the ball.
It's a safe word, and a beautiful solo block that time. That's Ellie Ham, senior out of Merced. Second most total blocks on this Cal roster a season ago.
Not played a lot this year so far, but tonight she gets the starting nod. It shows some good stuff right there.
Boy, that was smacked right into the chest of Bartalo.
She's not going to let that show, though.
Kate Mansfield back in the left front position for Cal. Jardin overpass and easily poked down for Maruska. And the Deacs closing in on set number one, 21-17. What a huge addition Sahara Maruska has been for this Deacs team. Former Rice Owl, 2022 Conference USA All-Tournament team. A lot of experience amongst the transfers for this Wake Forest squad. On a silver platter, and Charles with an easy punch.
Cal has no timeouts left, so they're going to do a sub here. Try to slow down some momentum a little bit. Ashley Lee coming in to play the opposite position.
For Ashley Lee, it's her 9th appearance, 19th set that she has come in to play in 2024.
Sometimes that's the hardest thing, too. Mansfield's out. There's nothing that she did wrong to come out. just a matter of changing it up and trying to slow the game down a little.
Lee turned aside. Dug up, though, by the newly inserted Lee. Bellows with a bump set. Diving dig, Bartalo poked down, and what a point for Wake Forest. You're shaking your head. What did you not like?
I thought maybe the ball was on our side of the net or the Cal side of the net, and the blocker reached over before the setter had a chance to touch it, but she's right up there on the line, and I'm not. I'll give it to her.
They could theoretically challenge it if they wanted to, but maybe that angle from the far side gave him a clear picture. Maggie Lee on serve, trying to keep Cal attached and deny Deeks the opener. Finds the center back, and Maruska, little off speeder down the far sideline, and it's set point for Wake Forest. Lee with a control, kind of a double bump set there. Crawford just avoiding the net with the third touch. Off the net, it's pushed forward by Lee. Bellows. Charles can't finish it off. Another chance for the Deeks, this time the weak side. And it's Layla Ricks putting an end to set number 1 as Wake Forest goes in front 1-0 after 25-8. As Coach Rich Feller stepped away, exercising his right to sit courtside as a spectator. Appreciate him hopping on the broadcast tonight. See if they can find a way to get Maggie Lee going. Thumps one to set the tone in set number 2. 4th kill for Maggie Lee, 37.5% hit percentage. Former Volleyball Mag All-American honorable mention. First freshman in program history to be recognized by Volleyball Mag, just littered with accolades, too long to count. And with the final touch, Lau is able to bump it over. Crawford turned away. And a low setup induces the miss, and it's 2 straight points for the Bears. Rocking a 1-1 home record this season. But it's been tough for them having to deal with a plethora of injuries. This is a really thin team. Not very deep. They use a rotation of about 8 players. Especially when you have Analea Mader out for an extensive amount of time. Smart decision there for Natalie Lau not to barrel into the courtside seats. First point for the Deeks. Jordan's able to catch up with that quickly. There's Lau with the dig, and the bump set to Maggie Lee. Another point for the sophomore. It's just so impressive hailing out of Beijing. It's already been named ACC Offensive Player of the Week, has led the team in kills in 12 of the first 14 matches. See why at 6'3", so much power, but very humble. Talk to coaches around here, just love how modest she is. Obviously has a healthy amount of confidence. It's never overbearing. And that's an excellent solo block for Maruska. Again, one of the 3 transfers for Wake Forest. Over 400 sets played at Rice. So bringing a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this team. Receiving error committed by the Bears. And we're tied at 3. Sharper side angle on the serve that time. So an ace for Grikovic. Serbian coming off a fantastic career at Rutgers. Led the Scarlet Knights in hit percentage the past 2 seasons. It's been a tremendous addition, a lot of experience. Tracked down by Lee. Desjardins turned away. We'll try a second time. Poked back in by Baker. Off the net, it's live, and it just scoots over. Third life could not be exercised, and Wake Forest pulls that one out. Tremendous composure, though, for Cal to craft themselves multiple chances. It seemed like they were dead in the water, and utilizing that third life. Overhead set to the weak side. Can't clear it. Desjardins collides with Bartalo, and Ham answers the call. Coach talked about it. Ellie Ham hasn't received a ton of playing time this season, but has been earning more and more at-bats. That's her 10th kill of the year. Just her 5th appearance. But at 6'4", tallest player on this Cal roster, you have to find creative ways to utilize her. And Desjardins with a block on the weak side. In 22 matches played in 2022, 13 last season, an already 15th start and appearance in 24. Unloading in the back row that time for Wake Forest, Olivia Murphy.
Please no flash photography in House Pavilion, no flash photography. The safety of student athletes. Thank you.
Was Maruska again.
Sahara Maruska, third boys. Ellis waiting on the serve.
3 kills for her. Paige Crawford has been defending exceptionally well in this match. Just stays in front of the back row, having to reach back for it is Mansfield. This fires down the sideline. stays inside, and that is Dior Charles closing the door on that offensive chance for Cal as the Bears take a timeout. A 4-point lead for the Deeks, leading 1-0. A team that looks a little bleary-eyed. They have come out alert and ready to go here in Northern California. Freshman setter Becca Bellows out of Wheaton, Illinois. Farrell collects. And Lee from behind the 10 smacks it into the net. And the Deeks have doubled up their lead. That's what's impressive. You see Becca Bellows come in. Ryan Baker is utilized. They don't often play a two-setter formation. They can. One of the few teams, not only in the ACC, but in the country that can utilize two setters in the same formation. Just because of their versatility and their skill set. Bellows with the set, and it dances over the line and spills over on the hardwood of Cal. And the point goes to Wake Forest. Dug up well. So did Farrell. Just poked over by Maruska. On the side, and that's Dior Charles, and might have been assisted as well by Maruska. Those two have great chemistry combining. Layla Ricks also inserted in, the graduate opposite hitter out of Torrance, California, so born in Southern California. Double-digit kills in 2 out of her last 3 matches. Service ace for the Deeks. And Cal will utilize another timeout. Wake Forest starting to stretch their lead. And 7 years at Iowa State. 3 as an associate head coach, helping lead the Cyclones, her alma mater, to 5 NCAA tournament appearances. So a lot of adjusting for not only this Cal team joining the ACC conference, but also first-year head coach, trying to get those jitters out. She's been full of energy throughout this entire season, has not been able to contain her excitement being a first-year head coach. As Ricks misfires, and Cal's able to stop a mini run. But it's so interesting with Jen Malcolm in terms of analyzing the mindset. Feels like she demands respect, but knows that it's something she needs to earn. As the Deeks are able to tool it off of the Bears. And part of the reason why that mindset kind of comes from growing up in not only a family full of boys, which kind of turned her into a self-described bulldog on the court, but she also grew up on a farm. Over 1,000 pigs, 500 cattle. Though ironically not a fan of country music, prefers Afro beats. As the dump play is dug up by Sophia Johnson. And Charles cranks one for another Deeks point. I don't know if Coach Malcolm is a fan of Tyla or Burna Boy, but perhaps I'd have to have a conversation with her about it. But her average day began with chores at 5:30 a.m. and then was followed by a schedule full of AP classes and after-school practice. So the grind is something that she's used to, and she's trying to instill that work ethic in her team. As Peyton DeJardin's trying to do her part. She has played exceptionally well Just hasn't quite had the assistance. Overpass, and Lee able to do the rest. 6 kills now for Maggie Lee, trending towards what would be another double-digit kills total. Just clearing the wall was Crawford. Had to climb the ladder, put enough on it.
Emma Farrell serving now. Crawford on the go.
Wake Forest playing in a 2-game road trip. First tonight against Cal, and then they'll take on the Stanford Cardinals. As Lee unleashes with a cross-court kill. This Deacons team, though, has been red hot. They've won 6 out of their last 7. Just had a 5-game win streak snapped after losing to Virginia in 5 sets. And bounced back with a win over Virginia Tech and the Hokies, as that just licks the tape and rolls on over. Bears will take it.
That's an ace for Sawyer Thompson.
Six-point game. Great reaction by DeJardin. Farrell tracks it down. A little bit of assistance from Jamie Santer, who just checked in, and they bump it over to scramble back defensively, and what a solo block that time. A sliding Layla Ricks with the rejection. They don't see that happen too often. Lee being turned away. Was kind of licking her lips at that chance. And Ricks had other ideas. Just whistles over the tape. Just can't claim the sideline. Precarious spot right now for Cal. You don't want to fall behind 2-0. The Deacons looking dominant yet again. Again, it just whizzes over the tape. And Crawford flexed it. And Lau nearly collided with my neighborly courtside seat and a member of the event staff. Nine-point lead, 19-10 for the Deeks. Excellent serve targeting the right back side. That time Bartalo couldn't control it. And they've doubled up their lead again, 20-10. With the set, and turned away. Natalie Lau, that's got to feel good for her, the 6-foot junior. Again, just epitomizes what college athletics is all about. Had to patiently wait her turn her first 2 years. Wasn't expected to assume a larger role her junior season. Was playing behind Analea Mader. Mader goes down. She gets called into active duty and has been absolutely fantastic, regaining control of the reins. As that time, Tina Grikovic earns the Deeks another point. But you just seldom see athletes nowadays with the pervasive nature of transferring into the portal, players being impatient. It's just refreshing when you see an athlete that is committed to being a part of the team and being ready when called upon, but also being willing to cheer on the sidelines. Center spot, Ham pushes it down, and it's 2 straight points for Cal. (21-13). Floated to the back corner of the row, and she found a pocket of space down the middle. Jamie Santer got up and down quickly. Deeks closing in on set number 2. They took the first one 25-18. Jamie Santer transfer from Hawaii, decorated with the rainbow wahine. Lau keeps it alive, just inside the 10, rolled over by Desjardins. And Walaji couldn't find the cut angle. Crawford cocked it back. Thompson just pushed over by Baker. Savvy move. And Desjardins. Overpass. Still going on. Set up Desjardins again. Longest rally. And flares it way too deep, but it finds a fingertip of Cal. Longest rally of the match. Deacon determination on that one. Farrell and Crawford with a head of steam. Did she find the corner? Boy, snuck that into a shoebox, and it's set point for Wake Forest. Set point. Chance for the Deeks. Desjardins again. Crawford with the dig. Santer turned away. 1 set point saved as Sophia Johnson, the sophomore out of Wayzata, Minnesota, who is an excellent server, second most service aces on the team, coming off a career high 4 service aces against the Fighting Irish. This time targeted the center back. Lau on the slide. Thompson. Bit of a desperation for Bellows. Back to an 8-point game, 24-16. Charles turned away, bumps it up, and Ricks. Bartalo, overpass is passed on. And the Deacons deliver the knockout blow in the second. Deacons winning 25-18, 25-16. Yeah, just like the second set, Third set goes to Berkeley on the opening point.
Maggie Lee checks in for Ashley Lee, and Maggie will serve.
You talk to the coaching staff for Cal coming into this matchup. They needed Maggie Lee and Peyton DeJardin, those two outside hitters, to play well. Those are the two that they rely on the most. Again, this is a thin team. They've tried to do what they can, haven't been the most efficient, as Farrell's able to control that one. And that's been part of the problem, is as a team, their hit percentage is below 5%. Obviously, give credit to Wake Forest. Their defense has been just suffocating. They haven't allowed the Bears to find pockets of the hardwood. They're going to need those two to get going if they want to get back in this match. Johnson perfectly positioned her body into Jardin on the cross angle. Dealt with by Maruska and tools it.
Points.
No. Just an errant attack. Thought it might have clipped the Bears, and instead it goes to Cal. And I believe they're going to challenge that play. The first challenge for either side.
Previous point is under video review.
Is ball out?
We'll step aside as the officials
Wake Forest is challenging.
look it over.
After review,
So after the review, it's confirmed that it was not tipped by the Bears. And it's a side out for Cal. They lead 2-1 in the early going of set number 3, trailing 2-0 here in their home conference opener. Uncharted territory. First ACC home debut as well. As Johnson deals it deep. And what a block On that strong side, there's Kate Mansfield. Got a little bit of assistance on a combination with Sawyer Thompson. So the Plano, Texas and Lawrence, Kansas products teaming up. Nice dink for Desjardins. Found a little crevice, and this is the largest Cal lead of the match. It's kind of drifting backwards to her left as well. Good showing behind us. Fans peppered throughout the stands here inside Haas Pavilion. This time Johnson was overpowered.
Point Wake Forest.
Emma Farrell, former ACC Freshman of the Year, the first Deacon since Christy Williams in 2002 to earn that recognition. Only the second all-time Wake Forest individual to be named the Conference Freshman of the Year. Back pedals to set it up, and Crawford could not overpower Johnson that time. Grikovic, and it dances along the tape and falls on Cal's side. And it's 2 straight points for the Deeks. The defense looking a lot sturdier for Cal, especially with Sophia Johnson now shifting to the back row. She's reacted and positioned herself extremely favorably. It's on a little bit of a shorter serve, and Desjardins will get a second crack at it. Can't bury it through the wall. And Ricks released a little bit too late. More competitive set number 3 for the Bears here at home. It's that hit percentage that they have to continue to tick up. Still just 5%. To be fair, Wake Forest has dipped to 21%. It's not like they're operating at an extremely efficient level either. But they don't have to with the lead. Buries it through the wall, and Ricks pulls the Deeks back within 1. We'll see some substitutions. Ryan Baker is going to check in along with Olivia Murphy.
Ryan Baker serving.
Ryan Baker and Becca Bellows each having a fantastic night, 11 and 12 assists respectively. They've got a lot of depth as Thompson turned away on the slide. Strong pop, Johnson's there. Last-ditch effort to poke it over, and handled, tracking it down is Maruska. And Desjardins with a big-time blast.
Please, no flash photography in the gym. No flash photography allowed. Thank you.
Service error.
Service error, point to Wake Forest.
Point to Wake Forest. Bears still lead at 6-5. Serve is floated, a little bit of a slide. There's Farrell to dig it up again. Quick off the line was Bartolo, as she and Sophia Johnson actually switched. So Johnson was utilized as a designated back row player in the first 2 sets. Bartolo was the designated libero, and now they've switched positions, seem to have found something a little bit more. But Emma Farrell He's been in the right place at the right time. Boy, on a silver platter, turned away. Lee said not today.
Sawyer Thompson.
But Farrell, boy, you talk about a perfect setup. Combo block, Lee and Thompson. Sawyer right there. Sawyer Thompson, pardon. Side out for the Bears. And sneaks that over the top was Tina Grikovic. But again, going back to Farrell, she's just one of 6 players in the ACC to have recorded over 200 digs through the first half of the season. Talked about ACC Freshman of the Year, 2-time ACC Defensive Player of the Week last season, becoming the first ever Wake Forest individual to collect that honor. Has just been really the bedrock of this team. Could not crack through the Olivia Murphy wall. Just a monster along the right front. And it's impressive with Emma Farrell to finish that thought, because Kalani Willock, who is healthy, was the team captain the last 2 seasons, operating in that defensive specialist role. And really, for lack of a better term, was usurped by Emma Farrell. Deeks with their first lead of the game. Part of this third set. They get organized quickly. Did it last tip off the Bears? It did not. It did. That's a 3-0 run for Wake Forest to storm it front by 2. Perfectly placed serve. Was found a shallow spot on the edge of that left back position. And Coach Jen Malcolm is going to call for time. The largest lead of the third set for the Deeks, up 10-7. 3-point edge for Wake Forest, up 2-0 and up 10-7 in set number 3. Trying to complete the sweep here in Berkeley. Am straddling the line, overpass. Grikovic just stuck her hand out there to keep it alive for the Deeks. And illegal contact with the net being called against Natalie Lau. Junior out of San Francisco, grew up just in the backyard here. Has now started the past 11 matches. Set the tone in her first collegiate start against Utah State. Recorded a double-double, 40 assists, 10 digs. And hasn't looked back. Free ball. Grikovic. Murphy sent aside, protecting that line out.
Leads the Bears in kills tonight.
Might have been actually a line-in combination with Ham and Maggie Lee. Overpass opportunity for the Bears. The slide, and Mansfield keeps it inside the back row.
Kate Mansfield.
2 straight for the Bears. Number of attacks, pretty even, 97 for Wake Forest. Exactly 97 for the Bears. They commit the service error. Again, one of the big challenges when you heard from the Cal coaches coming into this match was how could they avoid Tina Grikovic, who's 12th in the nation in total blocks? That was the biggest challenge, trying to hit around her as opposed to through her. As that has been unfruitful for opposing teams. Crawford lays out for it, but it falls to the ground for Cal.
Goal number 8.
Thank you, sir.
And a big pop down the sideline. Mansfield trying to put the cape on here in the third. 2 straight for the freshman. Again, so impressive. This season's been so efficient, 7 times hitting over 30%. It's set back for Crawford. Desjardins did well, sprints back to the front row. Can she do it again? And it just falls over. Boy, it felt like it was up in suspension on that tape. Bellows to the strong side, and a rare misfire from Crawford sailed it long. 13-12. Again, this is beginning a 4-match homestand for Berkeley. Just traveled on the road the last couple of days. Finger dig, bumped over by Johnson. Bellows and Charles splits the uprights and pushes the lead back to 2. This is a Cal team that in preparation for their match against the Cardinals of Louisville, they left at 3:45 a.m. to take a flight. Even for early risers, kind of defies a lot of kind of social norms. But to adjust for the time difference, had to leave that early, really in the dawn. Shorter serve that time, and a quick strike down for Sawyer Thompson. Is rated the #1 middle blocker, #4 overall player in the state of Kansas coming out of high school. Attended Lawrence Free State High School. Father played basketball for Tulsa. Her brother Sloan played baseball for Ball State and Miami of Ohio. So a couple of athletes across her family. Good effort from Bartalo, slipped near the scorer's table. Just trying to show a little bit more fight. They were kind of eviscerated at this point in the second set. This time, Cal putting up a lot more resistance, which is good to see. Jardin pokes it over, and a net violation is going to go against the Bears. And actually, instead they said that that was 4 hits. Just one too many as Baker gifts
Points.
the Bears a free point.
On service error.
16 to 14.
Desjardins serve.
Room service for the Bears. Back within one, 16 to 15.
Fourth fielder for Thompson. Jamie Sanders returns.
Certainly if the Bears could channel some of their Kendrick Lamar, they're not like us, that would go a long way. Not sure if the Dougie is going to do a lot of damage to the Deeks, but their defense for Cal has certainly done its job as they've tied it at 16. Great hang time, Grikovic. Lee turned away. There is the total blocks master.
Point Rainforest.
Grikovic. Impermeable.
Olivia Murphy at the net.
Just rock solid up on that front row, especially from that right front position. As Murphy is going to switch over, little misdirection.
Service ace for Paige Crawford.
And the Bears were a little confused on the reception as it swells back to 2.
Service error. Point. Sorry, Thompson will be serving.
Costly service error, 18 to 17. Jardin gave it an excellent effort, could not contain the power.
In the deepest point.
Back to a 2-point game. And this might be the last stand for Cal. Have to dig deep here. Tina Grikovic. Trying to serve up something big. Find the center back position. There's Lau and Lee. Clutch. Clip the fingertip of a Deke. And it's 19 to 18 as Ryan Baker is getting set to stay in. Pardon, Emma Farrell is going to check in to replace Tina Grikovic. Side out for Cal. Bears were ready for it. Lee can't clear the block. Weak side, it sneaks through. Farrell again digs it up. It takes a carom off the tape. Mansfield with the tool. Terrific work from the Bears front row. Tied at 19. Desjardins is there with the dig. Lee backpedaling, kept alive. Jamie Santer. Unset defense, and Ham can't clear the net. Untimely attacking error. And Wake Forest can breathe a sigh of relief. They're starting to feel a little bit of the tension. They stay composed and they go back in front. Boy, drifting wide right of the antenna. Could not find her way back into the contours. And Coach Malcolm will call a timeout. A 2-point lead for the Deacons, closing it. Bears need a big rally here, trailing by 2, 21-19. Wake Forest has weathered the storm here in the third. They trailed early on, went on a mini 3-0 run. Bears tied it up at 19. And now the Deacs with a 2-point edge. Just poked down Ricks, and Dior Charles avoided making contact with the net. They were jousting for position along the weak side. 22-19. So much balance from this Deac squad.
Points. Serve is out.
Maggie Lee, the lone Bear, closing in on double-digit kills. She is stuck at 9. Into the right back, into that last tip off of the Deacs. It did. And Wake Forest will call a timeout, leading by 1, 22-21. Third set here inside Haas Pavilion for Wake Forest, leading by 1, 22-21. At least for the moment. Charles with a silencer. Deacs back in front by 2. Wake Forest will take on number 5 Stanford on Sunday on ACC Network Extra. Trying to take care of job number 1. Mansfield rolls it over. Johnson with a bump set. Just able to power it through the wall there. Combination couldn't deny her.
Mansfield again, set up by Sophia Johnson. Johnson serving.
(23-22). On her knees was Farrell. Mansfield trying to get out of the way, and she does. Desjardins pushed down by Ricks, and it stays with Wake Forest. Match point for the Deacs. Shorter serve handled by Thompson, and the cross angle. Did it clip the sideline? It did not. Game, set, match, but hold on a second. Cal's going to utilize their challenge here. So this is a match-defining challenge for the Bears. Might as well burn it at this point. And it certainly looked like that ball might have had a bit of movement to it. But did it actually make contact with Tina Grikovic? Again, the call on the floor was that it did not. So there'd have to be enough evidence to overrule it. Kate Mansfield at 6'2". Again, it looked to find the seams. And from that angle, and it looks like it did not.
Confirmed. That's the end of the match.
They verify it. And that is it. Wake Forest. What a start to this West Coast road trip. Sweeps the Cal Bears in straight sets. 25-18, 25-16, and 25-22. Again, they'll take on number 5 Stanford on Sunday. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they'll be back here inside Haas Pavilion to host North Carolina State on Sunday at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. They put up a lot of resistance in the third set, but ultimately fall a little bit short.